Hello, everyone. Welcome back to your podcast, our podcast, the Popular Side Podcast, on the first episode of 2026, I believe.
I believe so.
All right. As always, that's Yinka Yusuf.
Good evening, people. How are we doing?
And I Candy K. Happy New Year, everybody. It's January 11th. It's a Sunday. We're back to our regular cadence, regular home studios / offices
Yep.
/ spare bedrooms where we fall asleep every night doing too much work.
Yep. slash man cave / whatever you want to call it.
The few times you get a second to yourself in this life.
Yes. Yeah.
But
anyway, how are you? How was your trip?
Should I tell on you or not tell on you?
Yeah.
Tell on you or not tell on you?
Yeah, grown man, I can't tell you what to do or what not to do.
I will tell on you. I dragged my behind all the way to the continent. And I did not see Yinka not one time. Yinka chose football over his boy. I mean, it is what it is. You know, I'm just saying, I would not have made that decision. That's all I'm saying. I would not have made that decision. We all make our own decisions.
In my defense, we both planned to go to where I went to, right?
The AFCON, yes.
Yes, we both did several, exactly. So I finalized my plans and you made a different plan. And I'm not even knocking you for the different plan that you made. It's understandable. It's family. There's nothing I can do about that, right? I'm not knocking
they
you.
had no interest. They had no interest in going to AFCON.
Exactly. So
it wasn't my fault.
I think our family is kind of cost we not seeing each other over the Christmas period. Because frankly, the morning I flew out was the morning you flew in. Yeah. In fact, it was the same car that took me to the airport that brought you from the airport.
That waited for me to bring you back from the airport.
So, Lord. Like they say, man proposes, God disposes. Then, I didn't have plans. I didn't have plans to stay as long as I did in Fes. But I then had to for two reasons. One was business related, and the other one was family more or less. Yeah. They thought it would be a good idea. And Super Eagles made it easier for us because they won the group. So that means we didn't have to move. We were still in the same location. We were in Fes. So it was just
for the round of
16. For the round of 16, exactly. So that was what happened. But hey, it is what it is. I'm sure both families had fun. I can attest to.
Yeah,
that I can attest to.
I didn't really have any fun in Nigeria. It was work for me, unfortunately. But
I know.
Here we are.
I know.
Okay.
Anyway, good.
So, Yinka, we had to skip last Sunday / Monday. I was flying back. You were moving internally. There was just no way. There was no way to make it work and do a quality show. But here we are. Yeah. So, You ready?
I'm good to go. I'm ready. Yes,
right.
I am.
Happy New Year, everybody. Let's do this.
Happy New Year, people. Let's go.
Good segue to AFCON. Yinka has been out there. You were there for like 3 weeks. You didn't catch all of it, but you caught a lot of it. So we've talked about officiating. I want to start with officiating again. So today's Sunday. Friday and Saturday we have the quarterfinals, right? So round of 8. So on Friday, I think it was Morocco and Cameroon. forget who the other one was. Was it
It
Mali
was
and
Morocco,
Senegal?
Cameroon, Mali, Senegal, yeah.
Mali, Senegal. Yeah, Mali,
Cote
Senegal.
d'Ivoire, Egypt,
Came after
Algeria.
Nigeria,
Nigeria. Yeah.
So on the qualifiers, Morocco will face Nigeria, and then Cote d'Ivoire will face. Is it Senegal? They'll face Senegal.
Cote d'Ivoire is out. So Egypt came through.
Sorry, Egypt will face.
Egypt will face Senegal.
Yeah. So, Inka, let's quickly start. Let me make one observation about the referee in Algeria versus Nigeria. So while we were watching and doing our usual text commentary, I said, okay, we've been talking about how bad the officiating was. Finally, we found one referee that we could be proud of. He stood his ground. He understood the assignment. On the pitch were 12 clowns and 10 regular players. 11 clowns for Algeria, and the Nigerian goalkeeper is a bloody clown. And he policed them really well. He gave the Nigerian goalkeeper, who I really can't stand, gave him a deserved yellow card because he's a clown and he doesn't fit that team. Like everybody else is all about their business, and this man cannot read the room. He just keeps doing clown stuff. And I hope it doesn't cost the team, but I'm afraid that it will. And then all the Algerians, every single one of them that was not subbed out because they ran out of gas. Mares ran out of gas. They had to take him out. They literally could not breathe, right? So the Nigerians were fitter. They were all about their business. Yeah, they missed a few chances. Accor could have had a hat trick. But it is what it is. There was never a point when Nigeria was in danger. There was never a point when Nigeria was not in control. It was one of the most complete, dominating 2-0 performances. Because 2-0 seems like, oh, nice day at the park. No, this was complete domination. Why am I saying all this? Because to hear the Algerians, you would have thought this was a tight match that was decided by bad refereeing decisions. They claimed they should have had a handball penalty. I didn't even see it. Did you see it?
I saw it.
Okay.
I saw it. And it's a disgrace, Aki. The ball hit Semi Ajayi's thigh, then ricocheted up to his arm. And the rules are clear once that is the case. It's not a pen. It's not a pen. Unless in fact, I don't even think there's an exception. The exception is if you're on the offensive and you're the offensive player, that's when it changes. But if the ball hits any part of your body before it touches your arm, you're good. So I don't understand what the Algerians are about, but go ahead.
Yeah, but they said it was the biggest disgrace in the history of officiating, and that they tried to accost the referee, on the pitch, coming up the pitch.
Not that they tried to. The security had to guide the officials off the pitch. Security had to guide them off the pitch. So the players were fighting with the refs. They were fighting in through the tunnel, and the fans were also dismantling. They were doing stuff in the stands.
Yeah, the fans were trying to come to the field. Yeah. So all in all, disgrace. The real issue was Algeria really did not play well. They were not really kind. Mares. I think I saw him for the first time when he went to the bench in the 65th minute or something.
Yeah,
he didn't do anything.
Yeah, and to be fair to him, I think he's the only one that actually covered himself in a bit of grace. After the game, he came out and was like, "These guys were clearly better than us. Well, what are we talking about here? They outplayed us in every single department." And why Bali didn't have a save to make? He didn't.
No.
None.
They had clown stuff to do that occupied his time.
Zidane's son was being tortured. I think it's the sin that his father, all the dribbling and the disgrace that his father had, dished out to people. God decided to say, you know what, I'll take it out on your son. and I'll use Super Eagles and Akko in particular to show you to show you Pepe. Because that Osimhen goal, I looked at the replay and I'm like, dude, why you jump awkwardly there between him and Ben? What's the name of that defender again at Dortmund? I forgot his name. Between the two of them, they messed it up. They messed it up, and the Akko goal was just perfect.
Yeah,
it was just perfect.
It was amazing. It was quite amazing. And for those who don't know, Zinedine Zidane's son is the goalkeeper for Algeria. Obviously, Zidane himself is Algerian. I believe he was actually born in Algeria. And so he was in the stands watching with the woman I believe is the boy's mother.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Zidane's wife. But anyway, good luck to them. They would not be moving forward. Nigeria will be. And we move on. Let's quickly talk about Mali versus Senegal. What was disappointing to me was our man Bissouma, who we both liked. I think we both like. I saw a little bit of this is for Mali, a little bit of a lack of leadership, some disciplinary issues. They had gotten a red card in the round of 16 against Tunisia. Against Tunisia in the 28th minute, very early.
Mm-hmm.
Straight red, studs up, almost hurting someone on the ankle, whatever. I mean, you could have given a yellow, but you couldn't argue with a red. But they toughed it out, they gutted it out, And did it go to penalties in the round of 16?
Yeah, it went to penalties and Mali won.
Mali won. But this time, Bissouma, missed his own penalty after having his own disciplinary issues. Do you have anything you want to say about Mali versus Senegal?
I'm not surprised with the way that turned out. Mali seemed too brash. I'm not sure whether it's immaturity, but you see the Malian team, they're young, they're probably over enthusiastic, and it showed in the way they play, right? So I'm not surprised Senegal, beat them. I thought Senegal would have scored more, right? But frankly, I'm not also impressed with Senegal as a team. The Mane is not who he used to be. Koulibaly is not who he used to be. Yeah, he's old now. He's old now.
Yeah.
He's old now. He's still there's still a player there. Don't get me wrong, right? He's not what he used to be.
Where is he now? Is he in Saudi?
He's with Cristiano Ronaldo. He's in the same team as Cristiano.
Yeah. So I would just say I'm glad he's finally making money because everywhere he's been, they've tried not to pay that man. I will repeat again for our Liverpool fan followers. His last several years at Liverpool, he was the 10th, 11th, or 12th highest paid player at Liverpool.
And he was the best player. Yeah,
that is a disgrace, So, but you have to go. Sometimes you got to go where you're valued to get paid your worth. I mean, you know that, I know that, so it is what it is. So, and then Cameroon versus Morocco, the host. I know you had some thoughts. You thought Cameroon should have had 2 penalty kicks, and you thought
2 clear penalties.
Morocco were a little fortunate.
No, not a little. Significantly fortunate. A lot. Okay. It was a clear-cut penalty. The fact that VAR didn't even look at it, I don't know what's going on. The first one was a clear foul on Mbeumo, and the second one was an elbow. It was a clear elbow to the guy in the box. That's a penalty and a yellow at least. And the ref said no, play on for both. I'm like, come on. And this is my fear with the Nigeria-Morocco game. Yeah?
Okay.
Morocco have it in for us. Morocco has it in for us because of what happened in the female version of AFCON. Remember, the AFCON?
Yeah.
Where they were leading 2-0 and all of a sudden Nigeria came back and we beat them 3-2. They took the ref. They took the ref of that game to court. Moroccan FA took him to court.
No, I did not know that.
They did.
I didn't even know you could do that.
So I can tell you what's going to happen right now in that game is Super Eagles see that penalty or that supposed penalty, the ricochet of the tie, if that's Morocco, that's a pen.
That's a penalty.
It's a pen. So you need to be flawless against them, and which is why when you say our goalkeeper is a weak link,
is a clown.
I'm worried about him. He'll do something silly and he'll cost us, because the refs will be looking for the slightest reason, right, to give Morocco the advantage on Wednesday. So there's the slightest reason.
From a purely substantive football point of view, have you been impressed, disappointed, neutral about Morocco in this tournament?
They've been they've been okay. If you look at the Morocco that was at the World Cup, the Morocco that won the Olympics, I expected more. That's the honest truth.
Me too.
Yeah,
me too.
I know Hakimi was injured. He's not fit. He's just managing. Brahimi, they keep saying, Brahimi is a top player. Brahimi has just been putting the ball in the back of the net. Luckily, he's not really been influencing the play as much as you love to, right? We're going to talk briefly about key players so far. Yes, he is, but the whole Morocco is saying, he's the best player so far. I'm like, hell no, he's not. He's not.
He's a big player. Name. That's what it is.
It's a big name. I get that. Yeah. And he set a record. He scored in every game of the tournament. Yeah, I get all that. But generally, am I impressed with Morocco? Not at the level that I expect. Yes, they're delivering, they're winning their games and the rest of it. But when you put someone at a higher pedestal and they're not there. That's the way I see it. But this is how cup tournaments happen. I'm worried about teams peaking early. Remember Cote d'Ivoire in the last tournament? They barely made it out of the group stage. Yeah. And at the tail end, they came on and they won. So it's not how well you play in the group stages that matter. It is how well you play when the games really do matter. Yeah. So not taking anything away from Morocco, in my opinion, they're still favorites to win it because of home advantage and the rest of it. Yeah. And also they're damn good side. They're very good side. So it's the Super Eagles have their work cut out for them on Wednesday. Significantly.
Okay. So, Yinka, in the interest of time, let's just do quick predictions. We have 2 semifinals coming up. Are they both on Thursday, or is one on Wednesday and one on Thursday?
I know Nigeria is playing on Wednesday.
Okay. I don't know. One might be on Thursday, but don't quote. Okay. Yeah. So let's do Senegal versus Egypt.
Egypt. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Egypt will go through.
Okay.
I think Egypt will go through. Salah is having a decent tournament. Mamouche the same. And the Egyptian midfield and defense, they seem a bit more, it's a bit more compact and a bit more organized than Senegal. But here's the thing. Also, Egypt, because Egypt is closer to Morocco. Trust me, that game is a home game for Egypt because their fans will be all over the stadium. Yeah. But also because there are a lot of Senegalese in France, right? So a lot of people will fly in also from France. So it might be like 70-30 in terms of, percentage share of the spectators. So I think Egypt will nick that. I think Egypt will.
Okay. So now this will be a repeat. Is it 2 AFCONs ago?
Yeah, two AFCONs ago, yes.
2 AFCONs
where
ago.
Senegal beat Egypt in the final. Yeah.
And then they also faced each other in the playoffs for the World Cup, I believe, for 22.
Yes.
And I think...
Yes.
Yeah, I think Senegal also won both.
Yeah, Senegal won both. So it's high time.
Yeah.
It's high time.
So I've not been convinced by either of them, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to go for Egypt as well. But only just. What's the name of the guy that is scoring for Senegal? Youngish guy. Oh man, I forget. Oh man.
Which of them now? Is it Bayo? Is it Bayo or the other guy?
No, the other
There's
guy. What's his name? Oh man. I don't. Let's not waste time. It will come to me.
okay.
So I feel like they have enough to carry themselves without Mane really, doing the business. But honestly, our guy, the goalkeeper that used to be at Chelsea, he's looked not great this time.
Yeah.
Apparently, when you go to Saudi.
Oh, the guy you're talking about should be in Diaye. Liverpool, Everton's in Diaye, I believe.
Not him. Another one. They have,
another one. Okay.
Baba, somebody. I don't know. Everybody's Baba.
But Baba will be on the bench anyway. Let's move on.
When I remember, okay, I'm gonna say Egypt, but just Egypt. Okay. What about Morocco v Nigeria? What do you think?
What else I'm wearing a Super Eagles jersey. What else do you think I'll go for?
I'm wearing a Nigeria jersey, not Super Eagles.
I'm going Nigeria, man. Yeah.
Is that your head or is that your heart?
Both.
Objectively,
both.
do you think? Okay. So
yes.
Okay, all right. And
so
tell me why.
And here's why. The team, if you ask me right now, who has been the best team in this tournament till date, it's Super Eagles.
Yeah.
And it's not even close. The only game that I would say I wasn't too impressed with Super Eagles was a Nigeria-Tanzania game, which was the first game of the tournament. The moment they started playing two defensive midfielders, right, and giving Iwobi a free role, the team looked better. Tanzania, it was Chukwueze that started. It was Iwobi alongside Ndidi in midfield, and the midfield suffered against Tanzania. But in the Tunisia game, when Onyeka came in, and it was Onyeka, Ndidi, Iwobi, and Lookman in front of them, right? We blitzed Tunisia in the first half 3-0. The game went south when your coach decided to make, bring in Moses Simon and change his formation just to accommodate Simon. Yeah. Now, indeed, he's not playing the semi-finals. He has 2 yellow cards. But Rafael Onyedika has proven also that he's a competent replacement. So I don't think we'll miss Ndidi that much. But the firepower of Lookman, who is the player of the tournament right now, he has 7 goal involvement, and it's not just his goal involvement. Is that see that pocket behind Adam Akor and Osimhen?
Yeah.
That link between himself and Iwobi collecting the ball and just causing havoc, causing mayhem. He's been the player of the tournament, right? And the way I see it, I don't think the Moroccan defense have enough to cope with that Nigerian offense. The only problem I have with Nigeria will be discipline and the crowd pressure on the refs and the rest of it. Yeah. But I believe we have enough. We have enough to make it happen. So I'm going Nigeria.
Okay. So if I may.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about the crowd. I'm not worried about the pressure. I'm really not worried about even Morocco's play. I think what I'm worried about is the players and the supporters might think that what we did against Algeria is our new normal. I'm not convinced it's our new normal. I think we peaked. Yeah, I think we peaked against Algeria. Like, we made Algeria look bad.
Algeria are bad also. They are bad.
I know.
They're bad.
But we made, like, just being objective, we played our game. We played clean. Iwobi was just immense, But I'm biased. I'm a big fan of the guy. We controlled everything. We didn't give them a sniff. They were diving and throwing themselves at Super Eagles players. It was very embarrassing, And we got a good ref. So I'm like, you have to start all over again in minute 1. It sounds crazy, but that's what you have to do. You don't get to carry over your form from the last match. So can we do that? Can we start over again with this? Go ahead, Nick.
So time out. I would have said the Mozambique game, right? We actually played better against Mozambique than we did against Algeria. right? And there was no let off. So I get what you're saying that we picked. I don't think we necessarily played better, but we kind of, it's even killer and it's at a high level. If you get what I mean.
It's a high level.
Right?
Yes, it is.
So,
it is.
I can even backtrack that to start from the Tunisia game. Yeah. A lot of people said, first half in Tunisia. A lot of people probably said, oh, maybe your coach stumbled on that formation that he's using right now. He's been using the same formation forever. It's just that maybe right now he's found the perfect pieces, right, that fit into the formation. And maybe the players are also understanding their roles in that formation a lot better. What I don't get, Akin, is this desire to always bring in a winger, right? When I don't understand. If you don't need one, don't bring in one. Every time he's brought in a Chukwueze or a Moses Simon or an Eduke into that team, the team loses the structure. The fullbacks don't bump forward anymore. The team breaks down. Bright Osayi had the whole right wing to himself. For me, I know who did they give man of the match? I think it was Osimhen also. I can't remember who. Against Algeria. My man of the match was Bright. It was Bright. That right back was something else. But to your point, I have always liked him. But to your point, I get it. There might be the tendency for us to go back to bad habits, but I hope that doesn't happen.
I hope not. Okay, so we're saying the final will be Egypt versus Nigeria. So, and if that's the case, then it will be Nigeria having to go through Tunisia, Algeria, Morocco, and Egypt. So, if that happens and Nigeria wins the cup, then no one can argue that we didn't do what we had to do, that we didn't deserve.
That's a murderous African. That's a crazy. North African gauntlet, my brother. That's crazy. So, especially when you and I know the way the North Africans are. I'm not sounding racist or anything. I've watched continental football for a long time. The North Africans don't joke with their home advantage. You know this. You know this. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. So if we can pull this off, it will be very, very impressive. It will be very, very impressive. Couple of things before we move on, Akin. Still on the Nations Cup. We didn't talk about some of the things that happened in the Super Eagles camp, right? Osimhen, the Osimhen matter, and also the bonus and allowances and all those stuff. This nonsense needs to stop. It's embarrassing, right? Yeah. You know, when they did it before the World Cup, I said, in my opinion, it wasn't the right time. This time around, I told you, I said, I don't have a problem with this, right? Yeah. They've put their money where their mouth is. So you have every right to come out and say, people, where my money now? I'm delivering. Do you understand? So I don't have a problem with that. But this is an embarrassment for Nigerian football in general, and it shouldn't happen. Right? And I saw somewhere where someone said these players are agitating because they see the way the NFF bosses or whoever, the way they are lounging, coming with entourages, spending money, quote and unquote. I don't know how true that is, but if that is the case, kind of lend some credence to exactly. I
mean, you already know.
I know.
They're not going there to slum it. Okay, they're not. Let's just call it what it is.
Exactly. And I was there, saw people in the same seats that we all. I saw things. Let me just put it that way. Anyway, so that nonsense should stop. It's crazy. Yeah. That's one. On the Osimhen matter, right? I told you this. A lot of people had this misconception that Osimhen was actually fighting or had an issue with Lookman.
I had that as well. Yeah.
And from my perspective, where I was in the stadium, that wasn't the case. He was mad at Bruno. Bruno had the ball. Bruno ran from his left back position. Osimhen was in a better position and Bruno should have laid the ball. Bruno decided to shoot. And Osimhen was livid. Then Lookman now told him, guy, chill. Big deal, And Osimhen, that was when they now caught Osimhen saying it's a team game. He wasn't talking to Lookman. He was talking to Bruno. But as usual, people want to sensationalize this thing and make it a big deal. Yeah? And make it a big deal. See, I'm not excusing what Osimhen did. And I said also, right? I said this jokingly. We met him, myself and the boys and madam. And frankly, outside of the pitch, he was the nicest Super Eagles that night that were at their hotel. He was by a mile. He took his time, chatted with everybody, spent time with my kids and everything. And I told you and Enzo jokingly that I would never say anything bad about Osimhen ever again.
Did you invite him to the podcast? Did you invite him to the
podcast? Not yet. Not yet. But I probably will.
You need to hit him on IG, you know?
So the thing is, on the pitch, I think that is part of the persona that makes him who he is. You can't necessarily take that away from him and still expect him to be that, is that kind of player that is like he has, what do you call it, multiple personality. Once he gets on the pitch, he turns into something else. I think that's what it is. Does he need to curb it? Yes, I agree. I would love him to be like a Ronaldinho. You remember Ronaldinho then? Even if you don't pass him, he will still smile at you, encourage you and say, well done. Because he wants you to remain confident. A confident player is what we need. So I don't want a situation where somebody will be in a better position to shoot, but because Osimhen has been shouting on me, I'd rather pass to him than shoot. Right? That's not what we want. So even if the execution is not the best, you should applaud the idea and say, guy, well done. Then afterwards, you can say, maybe it was better for you to pass, but next time I trust you to do what's best for the team, But the way the whole nation turned it into Osimhen is this, Osimhen is that, is blah, blah, blah. Yes, I get it, but it wasn't as bad. And I understood that what then happened was they had a player-only meeting where the coach wasn't even there. And the players actually, they spoke to him and was like, dude, come on. Yeah. It's just like in my line of work. We say you don't have to be only independent. You have to be seen to be independent. You've gotten to the point now where you captain the team against Uganda. You can't be doing this. You can't be walking away from the team and say, sub me. It's not the right thing, And if you saw him in the game against Algeria, even bad pass, he will applaud. Hey, well done. So all these distractions, I believe the team is not good for the team. But give just some credit to the coach, Eric Chell. Not my favorite. His substitution still runs me mad at times. Yeah. But if he is getting the Super Eagles playing good football that I've not seen in a long time, and I'm talking Gernot Rohr long time. I'm talking, what was that guy? That other guy that took us to Nations Cup last time, Passero.
I forgot all about him.
You've forgotten all about him. This is the best we've seen Super Eagles play in a long time. So give him credit. It's just that it changes at times. Man, I don't know. Yeah. The thing, it gives me heart attack. I'm like, these changes are unnecessary. Anyway, that's it.
Inka, the last thing I will say on the Super Eagles is before the last 2 years that Osimhen and Ademola Lookman won African Player of the Year, we hadn't won. Nigeria hadn't won since. Was it Kanu in 99? I think Kanu in 99
was Kanu before Ikpeba or Ikpeba after Kanu? I can't remember.
Ikpeba was 97, I think. I think Kanu was 99. Yeah. Because Kanu won twice. Kanu won 96 after the Olympics, and then he won 99 again. So I think that was the last time. So I don't take it for granted at all. Like, the reality is that the center of gravity of talent in African ball shifted away from Nigeria for 20 years. You know? And it's pretty much like in the social media era, Nigeria was not a factor in African talent. We were not playing in the best clubs in Europe. We were not winning the biggest trophies. And the Super Eagles were not doing anything. And when occasionally we made it to the World Cup, we did nothing. That is the reality of it. So to have a team with 2 African Player of the Year, recipients is a big deal. Like, don't mess it up. Like, this is a privilege. This doesn't happen often. So that's my own disappointment. Like, how can we mess that up? That shouldn't be happening. But okay.
Anyway,
we're gonna move on.
Yes, sir.
So Yinka, some things happened while we were away. So, I'm not gonna laugh at anybody getting fired, but
No,
this guy's
you can laugh. You can laugh.
No, but like
Actually,
if
the
you
compensation that they're getting.
that's
Exactly. So you can laugh. They don't even mind. They themselves are laughing. So why can't you laugh? Please go ahead.
If either of us got fired, God forbid, we might be on the breadline somewhere, trying to find food.
Exactly.
But these guys, I mean, talk about golden handcuffs. This is golden, platinum, diamond handcuffs, right? They're getting fired and they're getting every single penny on that bloated contract, know. But anyway, who are we talking about? Enzo Maresca was fired by Chelsea. They said it was mutual. Ruben Amorim was fired by Man United after a very bizarre press conference. So let's start with Amorim, right? So every time you get a vote of confidence from your owner or your front office, I start thinking. So
it means they discussed your performance.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you wouldn't have to say anything because the man has a contract. So if you have to say something, then something's wrong, right? So this man, the Sir, whatever his name is, came out and talked about, we're not making a change. This was about a few months ago. We're not making a change. We're going for the next 18 months. No, no problem. Everything's good. We're not going to make a change. And then something must have happened, right? Because of the results. He comes, Amorim comes after, I don't know who they had played, and he talks about, I'm going to be here. I was brought in to be the manager of Man United and not the head coach. I was like, whoa, this man is breaking news. And then, he's talking about the scouting department. He's talking about different people. And I'm like, this is bizarre. This is so bizarre. Like you're saying a lot with your chest for someone who is won 38% of their matches, and then boom, a day or two after he's fired. Discuss.
Yeah. So we say this in my line of work that we need to have what I call goal alignment. Yeah.
Okay.
So from the top, let's say the CEO, or in my own case, my regional senior partner has a goal, right? A list of goals that he needs to achieve. Then he cascades those goals down to the rest of us to say, in achieving my goals, this is what I need y'all to do. Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Once there's a misalignment, there's a problem. Once I have a different set of goals that does not align with the goals of the people that I report to, there's a problem. There is. And that's exactly what's going on here. So, Manchester United, obviously, what they've been doing historically is they haven't been getting the inputs of Amorim into acquisitions and, contracts and the rest of it. Yeah. And I guess what must have happened is January window opens and he says, this is the list of the positions that I think we need to fill, and these are the potential players that I think we need to go after. And the board must have been like, hell no, this is not what we're doing. This is what we're doing, right? Which is where he says, that means I'm just a coach. That's what you mean. You're just saying these are your players. Go make them work. So I don't have any inputs into the structure and how we will play and how we will do stuff and the kind of players that we will recruit, which is the opposite for what's happening in Arsenal. Yeah? It is the opposite. So there is goal alignment between Arteta, the board, Berta, right? It's to say these are the list of players or this is how we want to play, right? Who was I listening to earlier on today that said, seems as if United just say, there's a top striker available, let's go get, without really thinking about how that top striker fits into the way they're doing stuff. Yeah. So Amorim was just like, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm done with this. I'm done with this. Right? And these guys know that if they leave, they get a golden handshake. So it's best I leave now, right?
That's crazy.
It's best I leave now. So you don't have this turnstile of coaches or managers and still say the coaches and managers are the problem. Now you're talking about bringing back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer again. What are we doing? What are we doing? I pity United fans, Aki. I pity them. No. So my dad used to say something, God bless his soul. He says, when you are digging a grave or you are digging a hole for your enemy, make sure you don't dig it too deep, just in case you fall into it. Just in case you fall into it. So I pity them, frankly, because right now this hole is too deep. It's too deep. Anyway, Aki, I rest my case. Go ahead.
So, we still have to talk about Maresca. So let me just say very, very quickly. So, one, I actually feel like they haven't done all the things they needed to do after Alex Ferguson left. And that's the problem. I say this as a Knicks fan. The Knicks used to say this proudly, that, we can't rebuild. You can't rebuild in New York. They said that for 40 years. And they didn't win anything for 40 years. Right? So every time that you can't rebuild in New York. You just got to keep going. So, and I feel like that's what Man U was doing. We can't rebuild, blah, 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 blah. So I was thinking about it. I had to begrudgingly give Alex Ferguson credit because I'm looking at Fletcher and I'm like, when Fletcher was an active player, 13 years in the midfield at Man U. If Arsenal had signed him, I would have stopped following the club. It wasn't a good player. And I can name like 7 players like Fletcher that this man won 13 titles with. That if my club had signed him, I would not vex. You know who I'm talking about. John O'Shea, for what? Darren Fletcher, for what? And he had a ton of them. Because what he did was, his own system was, I have my brilliant players, and then I'm going to overwhelm the league with big, tall, strong bodies. What he never ran out of was humans, right? And he paid them like $2. The wage structure at Man U was the craziest among the top clubs. There were people who were senior players making $20,000 a week when somebody else was making 200, and he didn't care. Meanwhile, my own manager, Arsene Wenger, was like, socialism for you, socialism for me, socialism for everybody. He had the tightest band, 50 to 80,000 a week. Everybody makes 50 to 80,000. And Ferguson is like, not if you're John O'Shea, you're not. So that was their system. Their system was, I'm going to have a bunch of guys, they will be fit, they will work hard, and they will be replaceable. That was the system. What is the current system? The current system is anybody we want to come, just they come. Like Cunha. I like Cunha, you like Cunha, right? I like Mbuemo, you like Mbuemo. I like Šeško, you like Šeško. Now, if I'm creating a front three, is it really would I say Cunha, Mbuemo, and Šeško, does it make sense? Nobody asked that question, right? You have Kobe Minor, right? Kobe Minor is probably your most valuable young player. You destroy him for half a season. You don't give him any burn. The fact that this man is the only player that can take the ball on the half turn, shield defenders, and do something with it going forward. I'm not exaggerating, guys. The only person on the roster that can do it. He's the only player on the roster that can do it. And you're a top-class coach and you can't use him? It's crazy. But you're playing, what's the Brazilian guy's name? Whose legs have been gone for three seasons?
Casemiro.
You're playing Casemiro. I'm like, what does Mino bring to the table that doesn't interest you? The guy is so above reproach. It's ridiculous. Like, you have to live and die with him. Like, I don't care about your system. When you have a gem in Kobe Mino, you make it work. So I'm like, when I'm thinking about this, I'm like, I need to reverse myself. I thought Amorim was a great young manager, but I don't think he was a great young leader. And I think that's the problem. And sometimes, they say youth is wasted on the young. He might just not have the maturity to do it. Not the same, but similar to the Real Madrid coach, where I'm like, he just doesn't have the personality. I know he has the leadership chops, but does he have the personality? And this guy, does he have the grit? Is he believing his own press clippings? So I want to over index on it. That's my take. I'll take Maresca quickly, and then let's wrap.
So it's similar to Amorim, very, very similar. He also came out and was saying all sorts. We heard some things around. He was talking to City. I'm like, what do you mean you're talking to City? Did Pep tell you he's leaving? So what does all this? Oh, we're talking to City. Story. What does all this thing mean? Yeah, and frankly, to Chelsea fans, after having spent $2 billion, your best player is still Cole Palmer. That's a disaster. You have a centre back pairing of Tosin, what's his name, Badiashile. You spent $2 billion. It's like they're doing Ponzi scheme in that Chelsea Football Club. I don't understand what's going on.
No, it's player trading. So they're more interested in player trading than in player advancement. So that's what it is.
It's disastrous, right? You spend all that money and you have a Delap and you have Pedro as your striker. You have Buonanotte. You spent money on Garnacho. What is this? What is this obsession with young average players and hoping that you can build them up to get to whatever, right? And if that is the case, if that is indeed what you want to do, then you have to look long term. Right? You can't have a mismatch. You can't have long-term assets and short-term liability. It does not make sense. It does not make sense.
As the kids would say, that's a bar. That's a bar. Like, long-term assets, short-term liability.
You are buying players for long-term, and you have to think long-term also. So you getting rid of Maresca now, and you bringing in. You just went to Strasbourg. You picked up the next. See. Bruh. For me, Akin, right? If I'm a Strasbourg fan, I pity them. I don't know them. I don't know anybody that's a Strasbourg fan. But it's like Chelsea, they've just taken over your club and they've turned you into, what can I call it? Into a caricature of a club. A feeder team. That's what it is. Yeah. What nonsense is this? It's just, see, the board of United and the board of Chelsea, they don't know what they are doing. They don't know what they're doing at all. It's not even close. It's not close. You need to know what your club is about. If you are trying to build a young team that will grow together, you can't now be turning them into a turnstile or a merry-go-round of you go in, you go out. If you've bought Maduekwe, you need to stick with him all through his development, right? You just don't get mad. Oh, Madueke is rubbish. Oh, yeah, bringing Bruno Gittin. Oh, he's rubbish. No, that's not how it works. I'm sorry. Then don't buy prospects. Then go spend your $2 billion on made talents or made people or people that you know that they are close to their peak. You can't continue to do this. Anyway, I rest my case.
So the thing with Chelsea, the Chelsea one is easier to explain because these guys are baseball guys from America, right? So they believe in they came up through they didn't come up, they came up in finance, but but baseball has this farm system, right? Which is like the academy system. So, you have your farm system, you bring players up, if they do well, they get the bag. If they don't do well, you never hear from them again. And then you go to the Dominican Republic, you replenish your farm system with players from the Dominican Republic, which is what they're doing with this multi-club ownership thing they're doing with Strasbourg and whatever. But we need to say something about Rosinio. We don't know whether this guy can coach. We know he played in the Premier League, but we don't know whether he can coach. Do you have any thoughts on here?
Any young manager, right? The best you can say about them is he has potential. Yeah? And his potential is picked at Strasbourg. No disrespect to Strasbourg. Strasbourg ain't Chelsea. Strasbourg ain't Chelsea. So even if you can coach, right, the experiences that add up to who you are as a coach is limited to Strasbourg. You've not played Champions League before, right? You've not coached a Champions League game before. You've not. Do you understand what I'm saying? This will be new to him.
That's it.
It will be new to him. Yeah. It's even better for Maresca because Maresca understood it. He's part of that. He's been part of that environment. Same thing with Arteta. They've been part of that environment. They've understood it. They've been Champions League nights, tough. Do you understand? They have that experience, even though it's not them that were taking the final decisions while those experiences were happening, but they were part of it. This guy is, like Stephen A. Smith says, is a baby. He's a baby coach. Breath smelling like Cerelac. That's what it is. He's a baby coach. So for you to hand over the keys to him is like Chelsea's just giving up on this season. That's the way I see it, right? No matter how good this young man is, the inexperience will come through when it matters. That's my point. And it will take a while for him. So it's left to him now. If you think about this, he knows he's in the job for 6 months till the season ends. So do you really think he'll come in and try to impose his own style?
No.
Or will he just say, you know what, guys, just play, just pick a team and play? What do you think he'll do?
He's gonna play it safe.
Exactly, he's gonna play safe. So even this 6 months, we can't even tell whether this guy is really good or not. It's not enough for you to judge whether he's good or not. Yeah? But I'm just happy a young black coach has been given the opportunity. That's the only positive I'm taking out of this. I am happy for him. I'm happy for his dad. His dad is a commentator on, we see him a lot on Super Sports here in Nigeria. I'm happy for him. Quick fun fact. The first FA Cup Arsenal won, after that long hiatus, the one that we played Hall in the final, Arteta and himself and the coach, they were both on the pitch in that game.
I remember that game. They had a good game. I remember.
He had a good game. And he was a good player, by the way. He was a very good player. Yeah. If they had told them that several years down the line, you will be Arsenal manager, you will be Chelsea manager, they'll be like, shut the door.
You're crazy.
You're crazy. But anyway.
All right. I'm just going to say something very quickly and then we'll wrap this segment. So, coaches who might be next to be fired. We think the coach of Spurs may be on the hot seat. You've been saying it for a while. He had a little ridiculous situation where he was at
Frank the paper cup.
Right. So they were, Arsenal had played Bournemouth. They were the last team to play Bournemouth, and there was some Arsenal branded paper cups in the away dressing room. He drinks some espresso in an Arsenal branded paper cup, and the whole world goes crazy. And people, the Spurs fans, want his head.
Believe that you believe anything. What the hell? What? Come on, man. Come on, man. So you want to tell me?
Him at his word.
Yeah, come on, man. Come on. So someone said it might just be the Bournemouth guys trolling, right?
It's possible.
But for me, that's the only logical explanation. Because there is no way, you know the way this thing works, right? Merchandise and stuff, they're taken away. The dressing room is restocked after every game. Yeah. It's not, so this is intentional, right? Somebody at Bournemouth put that there to troll Spurs, and Frank saw it. There's no way you're preparing a cup of coffee. There's no way. You must have seen it. He just didn't think it was a big deal. Yeah, that's the point. And that's my position. The paper cup that your coach is drinking from is the least of your issues, sports fan. Right? If that is what you are now angry about, that is taking coffee from an Arsenal paper cup, then you guys have lost it. I respected you people a little before. Now you've wiped out the little respect I have for you. If that's what is turning you in, you're not worried about the nonsense that your team is doing on the pitch. You're worried about the fact that your coach took a shot of espresso from an Arsenal branded paper cup. I give up. I completely give up.
Okay, Nka, let us look
Yes,
at
sir.
the leagues, our top 5 leagues, the ones that took a break that have come back. Crazy ones like the EPL that don't take breaks. Let's talk about what's been happening. So as usual, let's start with Ligue 1 in France, and just tell us what's happening.
So Ligue 1 is still the way it is. It's still 1 point between Lens and PSG. Lens is first, PSG is second. I think they had a break. No, so the 4th of January, the first week in January, they had games, but then they had, I think they had a cup weekend or so, where it was Marseille PSG, and PSG beat Marseille on penalties. Marseille were actually leading, and the PSG equalized with the last kick of the game, and then the game went to penalties and PSG won. But in the league, it's still the way it is. Lens is ahead, PSG second. It's a matter of time. PSG will overtake them.
Okay, and everything will go back to the regular programming.
regular programming. Yep, regular programming.
All right.
Regular programming. Yeah.
Let's do Germany next, Bundesliga.
So regular programming is still going on in Bundesliga. Bayern thumped Wolfsburg this afternoon 8-1. When you hear Bayern score 8 goals, you will think Kane must have scored like 5. I think he only scored 1. I can double check later. When it was 7-1, he only had 1 goal. Olise had 2, then 2 own goals, and these goals were just all over the pitch. But as it stands, Bayern are now 11 points clear of Dortmund. I think it's just time we should just retire discussing the Bundesliga. Unless there is a specific game that we need to talk about that is worth discussing. It's curtains. 11 points after 16 games, 11-point difference. It's over. So that would be my suggestion. We retire Bundesliga unless there's something specific to talk about. Frankly. Frankly.
So
anyway,
let's then Serie A.
So Serie A is quite interesting, actually. So Serie A had a game just before we started recording, even while we were recording. Napoli, Inter. Inter were leading 2-1. Then upstep player of the season last year, the Scottish, what do I want to call him? The Scottish Yaya Toure at this point.
Scottish Ronaldo.
He popped up and he scored the equalizer. Ended up 2-2. So as it stands, Inter first on 43 points, Milan second on 40, Napoli third on 39. Yeah. So Milan also drew, which I think they were away to Fiorentina also, and they drew 1-1. Milan are beginning they're getting shakier as the season progresses. But for now, Inter are top.
Okay. And then next we go to La Liga.
So, you know what happens when El Clasico, is it Coupe de La Liga, or what do they call it? What's their cup? What do they call their cup version?
The Supercopa.
Supercopa, the Supercopa. Yeah, I was reading something earlier on today. So, Barca won the final for that. The game ended just before we started recording, 3-2. This is the 4th year in a row where El Clasico is the Supercopa final, right?
Yeah.
And that just tells you every other person in that league are just making up the numbers. That's what it is. It's appearance fee. You know, when you have a show and they say, what do they call them? They show front runners. They are in every episode. Then you have all these people that will just come in episode 2, come and show face for 5 minutes. That's what the rest of the league is like, But yeah, it's still the same points difference. Barca still ahead by 4. But the El Clasico today, let me talk about that briefly. That was a good game.
Yeah, please.
Very, very good game. Very, very good game. Vini Jr. was very good. Very good. The antics were still there, but he scored a beautiful goal. Rafinha also scored a fantastic first goal. Then the winner that he scored, Rafinha got the winner also. Rafinha's winner was a deflected shot. Barca had the possession all through. They dictated the game. They were knocking the ball about. Mbappe didn't start. He wasn't. Frankly, I don't think he was fit. He came on, but he didn't do anything. Barca had possession, but at the end of the day, Real had the same amount of shots on target as Barca. Yeah. Barca had more attempts at the end of the day, but they were kind of, wasteful with their finishing. Barca's goalkeeper had more saves to make than Courtois. Yeah. So despite all the possession, I thought it was a tight game. But before we came on board, you could see me and Enzo arguing. Enzo said it's not tight. How can you say that game is tight? I said it could have gone either way. It was 2-2 till 80-something minutes, and Rafinha scored a deflected shot. And after that, Carreras, or what's his name, the left back that used to be at Lisbon, he had a very, very, positive chance. He should have scored. And he played the ball straight into Juan Garcia's hand. If that had been a striker, it would have been a goal. Well, when it comes to Barca and Enro, it's like it's like you when you're talking about Arsenal. Anyway, you guys lack objectivity at times. At times, not every time. At times,
I am the most objective Super Eagle fan and Arsenal fan
get out of
in
here,
the
man.
world. In the world.
Anyway, it was a very good game. It was a very good game. But the La Liga is as it is. Barca still ahead by 4 points. Nothing else to talk about in the league.
Okay. All right. And then finally, last but not least, the EPL, where they don't take breaks, where they try to break their players for no good reason. God forbid that you stay home on Christmas and Boxing Day with your family without any football. Can't have that. Let's kill the players instead. Anyway, go on.
Anyway, there are pros and cons to that, but I'm not even going to focus on that. But what you can see, part of the cons that you could see is the quality of the games that we got over the break.
Terrible.
It turned into Ogbono League or Okra League or Ewedu League. Everybody just drawing all over the place. Misplaced passes, tired teams. Villa came to Emirates and they looked a shadow of themselves. You said that you predicted, I'll give you your flowers right now. You said it was going to be a thumping, and it ended up being a thumping because Villa looked a shadow of themselves. Completely. But every other person, Man City, in the past 5 games, they've drawn their last 3 of the last 5. Yeah? Liverpool, drawn 3 of the last 5. Right? Villa that we just talked about, they've drawn. So they've lost 1, drawn 1, 1-3 in the last 5. So they lost against Arsenal. They won at home. The away game, they played in Crystal Palace. I saw that game, Akin. It was drab. It was drab. They could not do anything. And the same Villa team now had to go to Spurs to play the FA Cup. And I looked at the lineup. It's almost the same people. They didn't rotate as much.
They don't have a big squad.
They don't have a big squad, So that's the summary of the Christmas break or the 2 weeks that we missed. There were some exciting games. Well, supposedly exciting games. Liverpool, Arsenal being one of them. After City drew and Villa drew, there was the opportunity for Arsenal to go 8 points clear.
Yeah.
And they hosted Liverpool, right?
Yeah.
So first things first. A couple of things.
Okay.
A lot of people say, "Oh, this is what's the word? This is a Liverpool team that is like 50% of their main team. They are seriously, they have injuries." And I'm like, hold up. So who are the 2 people that are not really playing for Liverpool, or the people that are not playing for Liverpool right now? So it's Isak that everybody says is off form and hasn't hit the ground running. Right? It's Salah that you guys have said you guys have alienated and you've benched. So that means the only missing person is Ekitike. Who else is missing? I said the back 4 that played Arsenal is the back 4. The goalkeeper is the goalkeeper. The midfield is the midfield. On a good day. Vies is there. Gakpo is there. The only new person that is there is the person that played right midfield. That's all. or that rather you alternated instead of what's his name, Frimpong playing right back, you pushed him into right midfield. So that was not an under whatever Liverpool team. No, it wasn't. That was a strong Liverpool side. Yeah. And I watched the game again. Maybe when I watched that, because of the high expectations, I expected, Arsenal to really, really, dominate and stuff. But I watched the game again. I'm like, these guys didn't do anything. This Liverpool side didn't do anything. They didn't have a single shot on target.
Zero.
They had multiple attempts. Raya didn't have a save to make. The first half, Arsenal had multiple attempts on goal, and so people praising Liverpool and looking at Arsenal and saying you guys are a disappointment. I'm like, these guys are still 6 points on top of the league. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? And there is complete cricket when it comes to City, and the fact that City drew 2 games at home, back to back, nothing. They're giving City the pass. So just at this point, I think, for the fear of sounding like a broken record, I think it is crystal clear now, right, that the whole of England, and by the whole of England, I'm talking about in terms of materiality now, right?
Jamie Carragher.
They don't want Arsenal anywhere near that EPL trophy. And they are already planting those narratives and those excuses already, so that if anything pops up, they'll say, we knew it now. It's because XYZ. And at the same time, if Arsenal then stutter and they don't win it, you will see how they will come for everybody. How they will come for the whole Arsenal, the whole hierarchy. It's unfair reporting. And the perfect example of that is the Martinelli incident. I'll quickly talk about that and I'll hand over to you.
Okay, go for it.
So the Martinelli incident, Bradley genuinely was injured, but he was outside the pitch. I don't know Bradley. I don't know whether he was out of pain that he was breathing in that made him move from outside the pitch onto the pitch, but he moved while he was outside the pitch onto the pitch. That is tactics that people used to waste time. That was what Martinelli saw. Martinelli did not see him get injured. He just noticed that he was off the pitch and he rolled back onto the pitch. Yeah. And he told him, dude, stay outside. So that's how we can continue playing. This is injury time. We need to score. Yeah. And you will think Martinelli killed somebody with the uproar that followed. Gary Neville went as far as saying he expected Liverpool fans to punch Martinelli. A commentator inciting violence as part of his commentary, and nobody's saying anything. You are inciting people to attack somebody, a commentator in England, and everybody's quiet, but everybody's mad at Martinelli. The only sensible person in Liverpool side, which is their manager, by the way, he came and he defended Martinelli. Right, and he said, "I don't think he saw it." Which was, I was very impressed. I was very impressed with that. But the whole nation turning into him, said he should be banned, retrospectively banned. I'm like, man, guys, stop this nonsense. It's stupid. It is stupid. You can't continue to do this. Yeah, especially those of you that are in the main media houses, your daily newses, your Sky Sports, your BT. You are there to be objective, right? Your bias should not be the first thing that pops out of your mouth. Anything you say is significantly coated with bias. It's wrong. It is absolutely wrong, and it's getting tiring at this point. I'm happy for the young man. He played in the FA Cup today and he scored a hat-trick. So maybe you should keep abusing him. Maybe subsequent games he'll keep on getting hat-tricks. Who knows? Anyway, so that's like a summary of the past 2 weeks from my perspective. What do you think?
So let's start with Martinelli. I think when there's an agenda, your eyes stop working. Your senses stop perceiving things. Because I saw instantly, right, that I saw the frame, Bradley got injured away from Martinelli, right?
Yeah.
So he stepped on the turf and then he sprang back up and I knew it was really bad. I also knew that there was a gap between he and Martinelli's face was to the side, right? So if you look at the frame, it was to the right, it was to the side, to the byline, and this man was in pain on the left. So he didn't see it. I knew he didn't see it. Nobody mentioned that. Nobody mentioned that.
Nobody.
Right? And nobody even said, hey, let me go look again and see whether. So when Martinelli came back and found this guy rolling around, he's like, what are you doing? Get away. Now, he shouldn't have done that. Let's be very, very clear. He should not have rolled another player because you just never know. You don't know what state they're in. If they're injured, you just, and you as someone who has had many injuries, you should know better, right? But it should have been a yellow card. It's not a red card offense. It didn't kick him, it didn't. So one, it threw the ball at him, which is what I think the yellow card was for. He shouldn't have done that. So yeah.
Which he was rightly given a yellow card for.
Yeah, he got a yellow card for that. And then Konate, because he played one decent game in the last, I don't know, comes in and I'm like, everybody's flexing. I'm like, what are we doing? Meanwhile, Van Dijk has laid people out.
Yeah.
Like 5, 6 times.
Laying out.
Laid them out. And he has mouth to be talking. I'm like, what are we doing? But for me, the people that came out of this with the most credit is Arne Slot. He said it in the heat of the moment. It was very impressive. It was very impressive. He came out and he's like, I don't know Martinelli. Seems like a nice guy to me. I don't think he meant to do it. We're good. All good. Let's go. Good on him. Good on Martinelli for apologizing on the same day, saying he didn't mean it, which I don't think he meant it. It is what it is. So for me, that's all good. Now, let me talk about Arsenal. Yinka, that was a terrible game. So when you people were like losing all your collective minds on the Wolves game, I told you it wasn't that bad. For me, anyway. This was that bad. This was that bad. This was the Wolves game for me. This was your Wolves game for me. It was awful. It was bad. It was bad. But again, I can chalk it all up to, Christmas period, 6 matches or 7 matches in 20 days.
You should chalk it up to Liverpool. I can go watch that game again. Liverpool came without a striker. This is a good side. Hear me. Let me see. This is Liverpool is a good side, right? That decided, you know what? We're just going to come here and play it absolutely safe. We're good enough to knock. See that second half? There was a period for like 10, 15 minutes that Liverpool were just knocking the ball around, not penetrating, right? And any chance they get, they just throw the ball over Martin Lewis Kelly. And Frimpong will run, get the ball, come back again, give it back to them in midfield. They start, pulling the ball, pinging the ball around again. So for me, right, and it was a bit weird, and I think this is where, to some extent, I will blame the coach. I'll blame Arteta. Slightly, in the sense that this is that kind of game where you should have realized that I need to get Gyökeres out of this. In fact, 45 minutes it shouldn't have stayed beyond the first half, because this is not his game. There is nothing to run into. There is no space, right? Liverpool came and almost packed the bus against Arsenal.
They did. No, they're not almost. They did.
So, do you understand? And that wasn't the expectation. I didn't expect that that's what they would do also. I didn't expect it, right? But see, it was a poor game on both sides, right? Yeah, very, very poor. Enough. I don't think Arsenal reacted fast enough to deal with them. And in that second half, Liverpool were there for the taking, and Arsenal became apprehensive, and they were worried about not losing as against winning the game.
Which is not the worst thing. Which is not the worst thing. So
which is not the worst when you're 6 points ahead of everybody. I'm not exactly. That's fine. It's not.
I looked at the, what do you call this? The goal. What do you call the goal stat again? The
XG.
What is XG? Thank you. I looked at the XG was 0.57 for Arsenal, 0.31 for Liverpool. Yes. Not good. Not good.
Not good.
And so needed to, and I'm sure that 0.57 was that high because of the last minute header that Gabriel knocked out.
Yeah.
That would have been a winner. So for me, I'm not concerned about the late season collapse. I don't think there's any real rival except City. They still don't have defensive reinforcements with Guardiola and Diaz out. So even if they get Gay, and they may not get Gay, I don't know how that changes anything. They have Semenyo, good for him, God bless him, is the third highest paid player at the club now. I don't know how much he was making at Bournemouth. Couldn't have been that much. But now he's rich. So another black man getting money. I love it. But, I think you will see. I know you love him. I think you will find him a little overrated now that he's at City. That's what I think. So I'm pretty sure he'll replace Savinho. So it will be Semenyo and what's the name of the little guy on the left?
Doku.
Running around and stuff. Good for them. But that was never their problem. Their problem is their defense. Their problem is the lack of a talismanic midfield player. KDB is not walking through that door. And David Silva is not walking through that door. Former Turkish German guy, what's his name? Captain, not walking through that door. Gundogan is not walking through that door. They have bodies in midfield. They don't have anybody special in midfield. That is the problem. And their defense is very, very suspect. Ake just runs around doing nonsense. 6 years
right now, they don't even have
City career.
Diaz is injured. What's his name?
Is injured. Yeah.
Vardiol is injured. So that's why they're really going after Gehi. But frankly, Ake, that means over the past 2 January, winter windows, Pep has spent 600, 700 million now.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not going to punish them for the 115 charges, then they will spend the money. They will spend the money.
And on Semenyo, like you said, the fit is a concern for me. Yeah. Semenyo. But let's see whether Pep can make him.
They don't have a backup striker. They don't have a backup striker. Mamouche is their backup striker, right?
Yeah.
So Semenyo would be another backup striker. Pep even said it. So they bought him because he can play on the right, which is where he will have to play because he will just replace Savinho. He can play on the left, when Doku is not playing, and he can play through the middle. He can also, pretend he's a midfielder once in a while. He can play. He can play in a number 10 role if need be. Some strange people. I won't call them idiots, but these are people who are supposed to know. Said, if he goes to City, he will have to be a attacking fullback. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, why do you say these things?
He's going ridiculous. To replace Doku. It's quite obvious. It's quite obvious.
I think it's Savinho, not Doku. I think it's Savinho.
No, so here's it. So Ryan Cherki has been playing that right side
on that,
and Ryan Cherki has been a revelation for them. No defensive obligations or anything. Offensively, he's been solid. He has multiple assists and the rest of it. Right. So on the flip side, it was always Doku. Yeah. It's Doku he's going to replace. Right.
But Cherki doesn't really hug that byline. That's not really his game. That's not what they're asking him to do. They're asking him to play close to Holland. Most times. But go on.
But in terms of formation, right? It's not you don't often have him play, then you have somebody else on that right side.
No,
exactly. So it's always either Cherki, and even recent times they put Bernardo Silva there. Recently, one of the games they played when Cherki had to rest, they played Bernardo Silva there. So, for example, Foden, man, these guys have offensive firepower, man.
They do.
So Foden is there, Doku is there, Semenyo is there. Anyway, it's good reinforcement.
And it's not enough.
And it's still not enough. But the winter window has been silent for almost every other person, if you notice, right?
There's no money.
people are not buying now. They are not buying players for now. The acquisitions that has happened is a bit futuristic. Villa bought a 19-year-old Brazilian or so. It's for the future. It's
supposed to be really good. It's supposed to be.
Yeah,
we'll see. I haven't seen him.
But we'll see. So I think Arsenal need reinforcement. Yeah.
We're getting. You know what Lanas are? LANA, LANS, lands, like a new signing. We're getting a bunch of like a new signings back. Jesus came back. Havertz is coming back. There's a bunch of long-term absentees that are coming back, and they will be like lenses. Like a new signings.
So here's my concern. Calafiori is injured. Hincapie is injured. MLS looks very suspect at left back.
Looks heavy.
And I think it's either lack of game time, right? Or he just doesn't want to play left back anymore. Yeah?
No, I don't think he doesn't want to play. I think he can't. Like, you know when I came to that conclusion.
I think we're saying the same
thing. Okay. When I saw him against the championship side, like he could not handle the wingers of Portsmouth. That's not good. It's one thing that you can handle. What's his name?
Frimpong.
Frimpong. It's one thing that you can handle, but you can't handle a no-name guy at Portsmouth. Like their speed, their strength, is defensive. Like Waneri, when I see him, no matter how long he's out for, he doesn't miss a step when he comes back. He doesn't give the ball away. Technical security is there. Everything is there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And MLS has had more games than Ethan. So I'm sorry. This was his 9th start today. Only only one of those starts has been in the league, but he's started 9 games. He's played many games.
And most of the games that he's come in is looks suspect at left back. Bayern Munich, he looked suspect. Liverpool, same. Even today, really Portsmouth today
was bad.
Everton, there was a game he came on and he got the ball, and instead of him to turn, he just kicked the ball to throw in as if he gave up. I'm like, this is not good, right? Yeah. It's either maybe, like we said, just push him into the midfield that he wants to play at this.
Yeah, but we don't need him in the midfield. That's the problem. We don't need him in the midfield.
But you do, because you're still going to get a midfielder. You don't let him deputize for Rice at this point. Let him do that. Let him play the left. Is it left 8 or left 10 or whatever you call it?
We have Eze, we have Marino that can do that.
But you have Waneri. But that is the joy of this team, right?
Yeah.
You have multiple people that can play multiple positions. So just keep it at that, right? So right now, I think what's gonna happen in the midweek game, I won't be shocked if Timber starts at left back.
So that's what I was going to propose. Timber left back with
Ben White at right back.
Ben White at right back. He had a great game today, by the way. Ben White.
Yeah,
fantastic. Yeah,
I think that's what's going to happen. Yeah, especially because Chelsea have pacey wingers. Yeah. Neto against MLS is recipe for disaster.
Good. You can't do that. You can't. You're going to destroy that kid.
He's going to get sent off. If that's it. Yeah. He's going to get sent off. Yeah. And not because it's just pure pace and defensive discipline. Right? Yeah. I think he I don't know. That's I don't know. Whatever it is, he needs to quickly get out of it, or else he's not going to go to the World Cup in England.
I think at this point he's not going to the World Cup, so let's just forget that. But that's a good segue. We're already talking about it. Our next topic was the week ahead. Carabao Cup Semi-Finals. I believe that is on Wednesday. Arsenal go to Stamford Bridge. And then the other match
City go to Newcastle.
City go to Newcastle. So give us quick predictions on that one. Yeah.
Arsenal Chelsea will most likely be a draw.
Okay.
At the Bridge. Then Newcastle City. I think Newcastle are going to beat City.
Oh wow!
Because City don't have a defense. I'm sorry.
No, they really don't. They really don't.
And that guy called Harvey Barnes, or what's his name?
Oh yeah,
that guy's on fire, man.
It's gonna pop up at the end and just score a goal.
I'm telling you, he's just scoring left, right, and center, man. Yeah. And you know the way the Newcastle already beat City this year at St James's. St James's is a tough place to go to. It's going to be cold.
Very.
It's January, a cold night in January, man.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yinka, for me, when I think about it, I think it's actually the midfield. If I was a City fan, is the midfield I would be worried about, because while Newcastle's midfield was struggling at the beginning of the season, now they're really ticking. The two guys I don't like are playing the best they've played all season.
Yeah.
Guimaraes and what's the other Brazilian? The name is
Joelinton.
So they're playing really well. But anyway, okay. So we've done that. There's a Manchester Derby coming up at the weekend. Who is hosting?
United, I believe. United.
Okay. Is it gonna matter? Is it gonna be a routine?
I think City go in there and pop them.
Yeah, I think so too. I think
City go in there and pop them. United are in too much disarray to do anything.
There's a lot going on.
They lost today, by the way, in the FA Cup. They lost to Brighton. They're out of the FA Cup.
Yeah, they did. They got one goal back, but it wasn't enough.
Your friend Ghana Jollof scored a very good goal.
He missed one. He missed the easier one earlier.
And he scored a very good one.
But he scored a good one. Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. Do we have a donkey of the week?
Of course. Everything Algeria.
Okay. Speak on it.
Everything Algeria. What do I need to add to it? The players, their coach, their fans, everything. Yeah. They projected Africa, right, in bad light with the way they handled everything. They're sore loser, right? Nigeria did not cheat them in any form. The ref didn't cheat them in any form. We were better by far, right, than Algeria, and they just started sulking, and they all of them threw tantrums. All of them, the fans, the coaches, they were fighting. Even the journalists, the Algerian journalists were fighting Moroccan journalists. In they called, is it the war zone? What do they call something? There's an interview zone where people can take pictures and talk to. They were fighting there, right? So I don't know whether there's history between Algeria and Morocco. My history of Africa is crazy. I don't know, right? But even we have some rivalry with Ghana and the rest of it. We don't fight. We don't start to. Ghana came to Abuja. They beat us in Abuja. We didn't fight anybody.
Nothing happened to them. They left safely.
Nothing happened to them.
Yeah.
So what's causing all this, this misbehavior by the Algerian team? So they are my donkey of the week. I will have told them not to do it again, but they are not at the Nations Cup anymore. They are on their way home, right? I'm sure they will have the opportunity to prove themselves that they can be on their best behavior in the future. Good luck to them.
Inka, are they going to the World Cup? Remind me. Did they make the World Cup?
I think they are.
Okay. Yeah.
I think they are.
I still can't believe Ghana did not make the Nations Cup, but okay.
Anyway, that's
all
it.
Right. So I think we have come to the end of our first episode of 26.
Yes.
We do need everyone to please subscribe. Subscribe, like, wherever you see us, wherever. Do what you need to do, as Yinka always says. Yinka, I think that's it. You want to say goodbye, and then we're out.
Go Super Eagles, and I can see your Eagles, or is it the counterfeit Eagles?
No,
counterfeit Eagles are playing right now.
Yeah, we're playing.
No, I'm saying they're playing right now. Yeah, they're playing right now. So I would have said go Eagles for them too, but that's your business, it's not mine.
Please do.
Okay, I'll pity you. Go Eagles. Everybody under that umbrella, but go Super Eagles. Wishing you the best of luck against Morocco on Wednesday. If you guys win, I might decide to go back and watch the finals.
This dude. at this point, you're just showing off.
I'm telling you now. So that if you also want to join me, you won't say, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you join me? Why didn't you? If they beat Morocco, I might be. I said I might. I might be at the finals. I might be at the finals. Anyway, Thanks, guys. Really do appreciate this. We'll see you all next week.
All right. Thank you, Inka. Thank you, everyone. We're looking forward to a great year. Have a great week. Go Eagles. Go both Eagles. And we will be back next week. And goodbye.
Cheers, people.